Okay, 7 o'clock. So we'll call, roll call and declaration of quorum, please.
Mr. Lau,
Present.
Mr. Griffin,
Here.
Mr. Tillman, Dr. Matusik,
Here.
Mrs. Charmison. Here.
I'd like to welcome all of our guests, distinguished or not, and I don't think anyone signed up on our speaker list tonight. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take agenda item number 5, which is new business, and we're going to perform that right now.
So, over the weekend on Saturday, I received an email from Mr. Tillman that just feels like it's this time best to submit his resignation, and I think everybody got a copy of that email. Normally we would, if it's an employee, our board policy allows me to accept those resignations and just announce it, but because it's a board member and our policy doesn't state that, I would make a recommendation to the board that we may have a motion and approve to accept the resignation.
I think we should thank Mr. Tillman for his service the last almost 3 years, and we appreciate him, appreciate his intent to take care of himself and help the school and faculty and so forth. The letter states how much he admires the school system and how he cares about the kids and so forth, and we genuinely appreciate his service for the last almost 3 years. I'll make a motion that we accept Mr. Tillman's resignation.
Second.
Mr. Lau,
Aye.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Dr. Matusik,
Yes.
Mrs. Charmison. Yes.
One thing I would like to add on that is appointment of a board member. We have 60 days to do so. Our March meeting is March 11th, so we could either appoint somebody at the February 12th meeting, or more than likely have to have a special sometime between February 12th and that March 11th regular session.
Can we appoint one on March 11th? Or is
That would be passed.
Okay.
Yeah, that would
So
be
we need
passed.
to do it before.
So before, yeah, we need to do it before, technically need to do it, I guess, before March 8th. I guess February's a little short of a month. I didn't count the days,
Right.
but it's gonna be around there.
Okay.
So 60 calendar days.
Okay. Thank you for that. Public comments. As I said a moment ago, I don't think anyone signed up. I didn't get any phone calls. Did you?
Nobody contacted me,
Okay.
email or phone call.
Consent agenda. Does anyone want to pull any items out of the consent agenda for just further discussion?
I'm good.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
Mr. Lau,
Aye.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Dr. Matusik.
Yes.
Mrs. Charmison. Yes.
Number 4, regular business. Discussion and possible board action to approve the 2024-2025 school calendar.
So started this a little bit right before we left for break. Basically put together a draft, working that with the principals of, plugging in the dates that you're gonna take off. This year it really worked out nice as far as the upcoming year of when Christmas break would fall on a Friday. This year it was on the 15th, and that was kind of a long time, and we came back to school real early this year. It falls really nice where we get out on December 20th and then come back January 6th on that PD. So build a rough draft. I sent that out to the entire staff so everybody could look at it, make suggestions either directly to me, to principals, whatever. Usually then, if you have 2 or 3 to vote on, then we would just say, okay, the question was, parent-teacher conferences, do you want them on Monday and Tuesday, and we're off Friday, or do you want them Monday and Wednesday, or Monday and Thursday? How do you want to break them up? Those weeks that are parent-teacher conferences, just a reminder, we go to school 4 days a week with the kids, and the parent-teacher conference count as 1 day taught. So that's the reason we're always off on that Friday after. And so with the feedback that we received, the voting, this is what it came back, that had the calendar like this. It was, I meant to look at the percentage before I came over here, but it was overwhelming on this. So that calendar is what I would recommend to the board.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Dr. Matusek?
Yes.
Mrs. Charmison?
Yes.
Okay, moving on, we've already done new business. We'll move to item number 6, superintendent reports.
So facilities, bus barn, they were originally scheduled to pour concrete today. Obviously, that is not in the works. The moisture that we've recently had has pushed them back a little bit, but they're scheduled to start later this week, depending on weather, but they're gonna try to get it in. And because the under slab plumbing is complete and most of the slab prep is complete, so, depending on what else we get. Parking lot project, I sent you, what I sent you today was about or what's attached is about 90% done, he said. So look through that, I mean, it's pretty simple. Mr. Lau asked how many parking spaces. I remember seeing we have 200 designated, then there's an area for buses, then there's ADA compliant parking, so, I mean, you're looking, I think, probably 220 by the time it all shakes out. You know, right now, we really don't have anything marked, everything's just kind of honor system on where you go and stay within the line, so definitely picking up something there. But then I got an email from him, just kind of saying, hey, that survey that you sent us, what does that really say? So, the geological conditions and the geotech engineer bored to the ground, will test what comes of the borings in order to give recommendations for paving and footing design. So that's what they're waiting on. Scott, who we've used with Burgess, we used the geotech report to design the pavement sections. The geotech engineer, how to fill the voids left by the tires on the bus barn project. So they're taking care of that in these final steps. Burgess Engineering is one we recommend for the engineering portion of that. They're easy to work with. We've done some stuff with Burgess Engineering before. The report will be included in the specification, becomes part of the contract documentations, which is the bid set. And just a reminder, the drawings to be issued February 2nd. We'll have approval on those, and with a bid date, the drawings have to be out maybe a little. I'll have to put that on the February meeting. They'll be a little bit later. They've got them sent out, but that's not right though, because we'll have to board approve them before they're actually sent out. So I'll get with them on that. So push that bid date back a little bit, and then the contract signed and approved by March 11th, which once again will be pushed back probably a week, but that will still give the contractor a month and a half to mobilize and prepare. And they know school gets out May 16th, and that we want to start on this May 17th. So that's
What's the time frame again on
On-
this project?
on the project getting done.
Yeah.
Well, what they say and what the bidders will say are two different things. So assuming we don't have a wet summer, they feel like we should be able to get it in, but once we get the bids, you know how that works.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Mitchell Road there? Is that the parking that you're talking
From
about?
the,
You're talking about at the
at
bus
the-
barn?
No, well, we're talking
On the north
about-
side of the football field, where the
Yeah.
tennis courts are,
Okay.
that'll all be demoed. Go down the west side of the football field, and then a loop around to right south of the football locker room.
Oh,
All
okay.
of that. And that's actually gonna be two bills. The one on the north is gonna be one bid package, and then the other is gonna be a second bid package. So if we can afford the second part, then that's what
Okay,
we'll.
so this isn't the west side, this is all on the east side?
This is all on the east side, yeah.
Okay.
Jump to the west, jump to the east side, because the west side, with the city on that
Right,
grant
yeah.
proposal, yeah.
Mhm.
And so Bert said that we should be hearing something hopefully pretty soon on that, and maybe start making plans, and we'll know what these budgets are, and revisit the west side. Yeah, so that's not put away and, just forgot about. Sign on the corner, visit with Terrell, he sent me a rendition of not the Hennessey Eagle, but I don't know if any of you have been in Autry Tech, but their cafe that they have kind of looks like a coffee mug and I think some other food, but it's got a flowing background behind it. It's that 3D, and he's working with the guy that's one of the lead designers on this in the United States, and that guy asked him to give him till like the 9th. But basically it would be, I told him I wanted to follow the theme of the football sign, but I said I want it obviously a little bigger because it's right there on the corner, and I want it to be where anybody that passes through, they remember it. And so he's using his artistic ability and gonna give us cream of the crop to begin with, but it'll look like on this programming with the lights, like an eagle moving through the lights flowing and what have you. So Sounds all neat here, we'll see what the budget is, and then go from there, we may get a cutout, but we'll start with this and go from there. So he's supposed to get with me, that guy's supposed to get with him tomorrow, probably another week, 2 weeks, I don't know, so hopefully I can fill you in on something in February. And then just got some additional signage for doors and windows, that's just a follow-up on all of our safety audit that we've had, you know, recently at the beginning of the year, and of course you guys started that before, but, you know, over the last, couple of years, I mean, I think Timberlake probably spent, a couple $100,000 on, you know, cameras, new doors wherever needed, so perimeter fencing, additional lighting for dark spots, key fob entries, I mean, I can go on, but, this is just one more thing that we're trying to do to make sure all the kids are safe and able to move forward with peace of mind. So, and that's all I have on facilities.
Anything, progress, timeline change or be amended on the auditorium lighting?
No, I will say this, we thought it was gonna be close on having that done before the March performance, but now that it's been pushed back to April.
Well, don't tell them that we moved the performance so they can still have deadline that they have to.
As long as they don't watch, they won't know.
They will.
One question I have on the safety is when we brought that group in, what group was that? This past safety audit?
So it was the State Department, it was a group within the State Department that had contracted with the Highway Patrol, and our local highway patrolman that did that was Tanner Beckner. And so I have a report of that, I think I gave you guys a copy, but if anybody'd like to see a copy, I'd be more than happy. Don't share that publicly because there are some things that you don't want to give away to those with bad ideas, but, you know, in confidence, if people would like to see that, I'd be happy to share. So what we've done.
Any questions? Because number 7 is adjourned.
Well, I hope we don't have a split vote.
You're usually,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
There you go.
Mr. Lau?
Aye.
Mr. Griffin?
Like you don't wanna go home and watch the game, come on.
been told I gotta go watch basketball. I said
That's
yes.
where I gotta go too.
Dr. Matusek?
Please.
Mrs. Charmison? Yes.
She nods in the